because they'll give me PFF Plus for free. But we get these extra little rankings, and why these are important is because we're going to look at games like the teams that are similar to the game that's happening. So we got the Seahawks, right, battling the Rams. The Seahawks are a very tough team, and it's at Seattle with a little bit of weather. So what teams are kind of like that? San Francisco, right? I really like that. Look at this. Look at how they did against San Fran. They had a 91.1 overall. One of the better teams. Now, another one that I do think it is like is like Philadelphia. And so they had a 74. That is like their lowest grade of the year. So the pass blocking was absolutely fucking abysmal. Holy smokes. But that's what we're looking to here. But another thing to note that though, look at the increase. Okay, so we're watching the pass blocking grades just go up, and then as we watch those pass blocking grades get leveled out, right here, 73, then at 56, 69, 68, 52, 72, 86, 79. We got some good pass blocking grades. Look at how it correlates. Watch this. Watch this. We go directly over, and we hit our first 85, 91. You know what I mean? Overall, we're having much better days, and especially on offense. You know what I mean? And the passing offense. The run game, now watch this. This is going to be correlated directly to defense and stuff. So if you have a good run game, it's 84. I guarantee you they probably had a good defensive game. Defense, that's run blocking. No, just run in general. Run 46, that's not good. 80. So 80, let's look at the defense. 75 on that one. 70. Or when we had a bad one, a bad run game, 46, but yet our defense is at 70 still. So that means that even if they can't get it going on the ground, they could get it going in the air, and that's what makes the Rams so deadly. You know, I think most people got LA on their list for this. The only thing I think that's kind of interesting is Sammy slinging darts. You know what I mean? Is Sammy going to want revenge? Look at the last 4 games against LA that Sam Darnold has lost. One of the only losses Seattle has this year, right? They only have 2 losses. That's one of them. Then you go back to the Vikings, and that's who knocked them out of the playoffs. That's also the team they lost to in the regular season, along with the Lions. So does Sammy have something in store for these guys, or is he gonna, or is football going to be football repeat itself, basically, right? It just repeats itself after repeating itself after repeating itself. Sometimes we get outliers, but I don't know. I feel like the Seahawks might get rolled up. What do you guys think? Sam's either great or awful. What's he going to be this game? Look at the Seahawks grades. Some of these abysmal pass blocking, and Sam's still slinging it. Oh, wow. Look at the last time they played the Rams. Look at the passing offense, 38.5. They must have only generated offense through running. 67 running, yeah. The abysmal game. They gotta need a new halfback, man. Kenneth Walker can't pass block for shit. How about Charbonnet? Holy smokes, look at that pass blocking grade Charbonnet has. 83.2. Why aren't you running Zach Charbonnet consistently? Fuck Kenneth Walker. If I'm Seattle, I'm playing Zach Charbonnet as my highlight top back. Issues with the weather? He could. He could. History could repeat itself. Sam could have a abysmal day. Offense. Sam Darnold was like basically last in the offense here. Look at these grades. Look how bad that is. And look at the score. It was actually quite close. 19-21. You do the Rams against the Seahawks. Windy day. I like the Rams because they got two running backs, Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, I feel are better than Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. I feel like if you were to switch them around and have Zach Charbonnet your main back and Kenneth Walker or get a new running back, dude. Holy shit. I didn't realize Kenneth Walker couldn't pass block at all. Like at all. Like that's terrible. That's some bad. That's not good. If you can't do that. But this is what concerns me though for the Rams is if the Seahawks were able to keep that to 19, and this was at LA. Keep that in mind. Bring this to the windy city of Seattle, and you got that Seattle stingy defense. You could have something, but I think the Rams continue and they stomp them out. There is no Devontae Adams this game. I think Cody Parkinson has himself an absolute game. Where is he at? Right down here. Cody Parkinson. Yeah, both of them. Cody Parkinson and Blake Corum. Both these guys. Last game 24 points. The game before 12 points, 6 points, 14 points, 9 points, 14 points. Been a man of consistency. At Seattle in the wind, 27th ranked against that in the position wise. I really feel like this is where with Devontae Adams doubtful, I feel like this is where Cody Parkinson makes his bread and butter, right? And ironically, on this team, this is the team that has Travis Kelce. So this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough decision for Travis Kelce owners this week. And this is what I have to tell all the Travis Kelce owners is I do believe Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback, and I do believe he's going to try to get it to Travis Kelce. But this is my problem, okay? This is my problem, guys. They're eliminated. Is Travis Kelce close to any records or anything? Because, like, if they have nothing to play for and Mahomes isn't there, are they going to try is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? These guys always come out and say, yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best for it. But it's like, are you gonna? Really? Travis Kelce, are you going to sacrifice your body for a catch? You with no Patrick Mahomes, no Super Bowl, no playoffs, no anything. You're just basically retiring, I think, this year. Maybe not, maybe so, whatever. And leaving it up to whatever. Versus Parkinson, who I think, like they said, 6 touchdowns since week 10. I think in the wind, I think this is the sure-handedness. Matt Stafford leads the league in passing. He is the passing man. Like that's definitely an interesting one. I also like Baker too. Baker has been amazing. The last game, he was a lot better. 277 for 19. But I've heard people count out Jacoby Brissett. Now this is something I want to let everybody know. Jacoby Brissett has only been playing for half the season, some shit like that. He's 19th ranked in the position. Let's go back to Baker. Baker's 13th ranked, right? But Baker's played almost every single game. This dude was able to achieve 19th rank with only that many games. And people are telling me he's not good. 19, 19, 24, 19, 22, 18, 19, 18, 19. It looks like all this dude does is put up numbers, man. And look at this. 320 yards, 279, 261, 258, 452 against the San Francisco 49ers defense. That's brutal. Jacksonville, 317. That's a good defense, too. Holy smokes. 301, Tampa Bay, 271. And then also the Houston Texans defense that everybody was afraid of. Everybody said, oh, no, nobody can pass on these guys. What did he do? 249 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had 3 carries, 6 yards, blah, 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 19 points. I think Jacoby Brissett arguably, and his last game, Cincinnati, I think with the schedule he's got, he's arguably one of the top guys. In my opinion. It's going to be hard to figure out who you want to play and this and that and all the things. But, yeah. Eagles at Washington. Absolutely love that. Chris Olave. Oh, what's up? Sorry, I didn't see that. Get yours. Wandre, Caleb or Knicks this week. I like Caleb. Caleb is going to be going and using the wheels. Caleb got a little more to throw to. Ben Johnson really getting that offense. Bo Nix, this is my biggest problem is, RJ Harvey. How's RJ Harvey feeling? What's RJ Harvey going to do? Is RJ Harvey playing? And that's going to be kind of the big thing. Is it going to be some McLaughlin in there? Are they going to add it up? And so my biggest deal is, that's Chase McLaughlin. What's the one guy's name? Is Jaleel McLaughlin? I can't remember. The other running back over there, I'll figure it out in a sec. Are they going to do that? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I had to blow my nose. And I'll get to that other question, too, as far as Swift, Sutton, or Judkins and Evans. Those are some good ones, too. Because Caleb, Noah Dunze, and Luther Burden scares you. Luther Burden's been all right, but he's questionable on the injury report. I guess you could be like, he doesn't have as much receiving power. Sorry, I always got freaking boogers. But this is the part where Caleb gets me, where it's like, okay, I like this. Caleb's always able to run. You know what I mean? He has those wheels. He's really quick when he gets out to the edge, and he's able to get touchdowns, man. He just is able to generate touchdowns by himself. And if we're looking at weapon to weapon, power to power, maybe Bo Nix probably, yeah. Bo Nix has a little bit better of a core with no Adunze. I was thinking Adunze would be back this week. Is Adunze out for this season? So he fractured it. All options are on the table, including the possibility so he could be shut down. I mean, they did pretty good with DJ Moore as their number 1 target last game. And Green Bay lost Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? This is a Micah Parsons-less Green Bay. Or was that last week? Is that this week? Is that what's coming up right now? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't think that this is the worst day at all. But I do see what you're saying. You know what I mean? Going against the Packers, it could just be a low point game. Maybe they just run the ball a lot. I do like DeAndre Swift then for this game for sure. And let's go check out Bo Nix. Mr. Bo Nix. Jacksonville defense has kind of been no joke. They've been pretty good, but they do allow some decent points. So when Bo Nix played Green Bay, man, he got 29 points. I do like, I really do like Caleb Williams a little bit. But like you said, if you don't feel comfortable with receivers and with all that, I think Bo Nix should be just fine. He's going to be, I think RJ Harvey, maybe without RJ Harvey, I think the fracture. A lot of times, though, those running backs play through those fractured ribs. Oh, he's healthy. I guess he's fine. Continues to contribute on their first 9 minutes basis. He did get hurt. They're just hiding it. Ribs practice fully. Okay, so he's back. Yeah, honestly, with him being back, I do like Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix will be just fine. Then if R.J. Harvey's back, and they're going against Jacksonville. Jacksonville drives up the score, so Bo Nix is going to have to throw. But just be aware, Jacksonville does have a very good defense, man. They are pretty good. Whereas I think Green Bay is going to be lacking in that department. I don't think they're going to be able to get laterally as fast to catch Caleb Williams. I think he's going to rack himself up about 60 to 50 yards on the ground. 2 touchdowns, something like 18 points. That's that give me for Caleb Williams to 22, something like that. Bo Nix, I like it for about the same. So I feel like you're good to go no matter what. Is Troy Franklin back healthy? Yeah, he's back. There he is. Troy Franklin's back. So he's got his guys. Sutton, all the above. And then most importantly, they got that defense. That defense gives them so much time and so much stuff with the ball. And with R.J. Harvey having a little bit banged up ribs, maybe they'll pass a little more, to be honest. So yeah, if Caleb scares you, I mean, I would go the other way. But then I would like this. So it's like, okay, so if we believe in Bo Nix, then I think Cortland Sutton is a pretty solid pick. And if we're not thinking that Caleb Williams is going to be being able to get, a ton of passing as much, then I feel like that bumps DeAndre Swift up because he is their passing back, he's their main back, and I feel like he's going to get a lot of opportunities to catch. Now, there's stuff that I can get wrong where like last week, okay, I predicted it perfect. I said Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to throw even though it's against the cold in that Pittsburgh game. And I was like, Gainwell's going to be getting all the passing downs and all that stuff. Gainwell's going to be the guy I pick. But if you have Warren, I do believe he gets in the end zone. I believe Aaron passes it up there, and I believe he gets a goal line carry and gets in. He missed on both his goal line carries, and then they had that Hayward tight end do a trick play and get it in. Some of that stuff is it's just impossible to predict. You can get so far ahead with it, but then, game script, because they're also trying to trick the defense, so it is tough. But that's where I believe in that. I do like Sutton, I do like Swift, and I do like Nix under those pretenses. Also, like Denver, I don't know. They've just been pretty good, Look at that against Green Bay, though. Gosh, that is just kind of a sign, though. I really still feel like Caleb Williams has a decent day. I think Caleb is just fine. But like I said, maybe it's even better for DeAndre Swift. Maybe DeAndre Swift has, like, the big day. The big day. Because, yeah, he hasn't gotten up there in a while. Not since Cincinnati, in New York, and down to 9 Minnesota. That's brutal. 21 Pittsburgh. Philadelphia 9. Green Bay 14 last time at Green Bay. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. And it's gonna be at Chicago. It's pretty cold. Gosh, I'm gonna look up the weather really quick for Chicago on Saturday. I'm gonna see what it's gonna be for Chicago. Chicago weather. Chicago, Illinois, United States. 49 raining today, but as we go throughout the week and we get to Saturday, it's like lows of 24, highs of 40. Not that bad in the Windy City that day. And of course these can change. Obviously, it's weather. You know what I mean? Saturday's low will be 24 degrees at 12 a.m. and the high will be 40 degrees at 12 p.m. That's pretty warm. But the temperature range will feel like 12 to 35 degrees. Wind will make it feel colder than the actual temperature. So they will have some wind, as like I said, the Windy City. So I like it for DeAndre Swift. That's perfect. I mean, that's really perfect. I think DeAndre Swift has a great matchup there, and I think that's a perfect way to go. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate it. Also, nice to meet you, Wandier 2634. Usually we're on TikTok. They gave me a slight little, whatever you call it, like like a couple days off because they said I was gambling. So we're rebuilding the channel kind of over here, and yeah, it just pissed me off because I mean we have 250 people in there, we have 100 people in there, and people just getting jealous. And now it's playoff time. People need the information that have been waiting and kind of with the channel all year. So that's why we're gonna build this up as best as possible. These are gonna be parts of the episodes we're gonna put out in videos. If there's anything else that you guys are worried about, definitely let me know, because that is how it works the best organically. If you, even in the comments, because then I have ideas for next time and things to ask and things to kind of go over. It's really difficult to kind of just talk to yourself and just entertain yourself and come up with everything yourself. It's just one of those things. So I do appreciate any questions or any comments that anybody does leave on this video, and I'll try to answer them the best that I possibly can, as well as like I try not to be smug, you know what I mean? Smash the like button. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I really do. And I try not to be like one of those douchebag like kind of dudes. I don't know how to say it. Like, I take in your advice, right? So if you guys tell me something, I'm not just gonna be like, nah, dude, you don't know ball. Don't put that. Like, I will if it's someone, if you don't know ball and it's something just absolutely asinine. But like, if you're telling me something, I'm not just gonna interrupt and ruin your stuff. I love the hive mind. That's why it's called like the MrKnew and Crew show. You guys are the crew, man. You guys are my fam, and that's what's fun about it. That's what makes it fun. And I know we had it going huge on TikTok. Someone got jealous and just rampantly turned us in. You know what I mean? But like, that's why building this here is going to be great. We also have, if you guys want, you know what I mean, you guys can check out any of our sign in to chat, sign into web browser. What? Wait, what? I have to sign in to chat. Hold on one second. That's wild. I didn't know I couldn't chat. But I can do that now. Does it work? No, it doesn't. Weird. I'm just curious if my chat... oh, I suppose it's not Twitch, so I don't have commands. Okay. Well, I was just curious. Anyway, back to it. Let's get to the game here. Let's get to what I was talking about. Some of this PFF stuff. So this is his Seattle offensive grades that I was looking at. Check this out. Zach Charbonnet is absolutely a beast at pass blocking, 83.2. Kenneth Walker is abysmal at pass blocking, 40.5. That really answers a lot of these questions I've had as far as like Kenneth Walker and what the Seattle Seahawks are doing with him. Because I'm like, man, I thought Kenneth Walker was the running back. Why aren't they running with Kenneth Walker? Why is it sporadically Zach Charbonnet day? Or not much running going on in a place where they should be running a lot. Like, Seattle should be running all the time, and they should be looking at like Love, the guy from Notre Dame, in this next year's draft. But they're not going to be able to get him because they're a little bit later in the draft or whatever. But like, when you look at these grades, it really spells out kind of the recipe for disaster. Like, Sam Darnold is going to have to pass them out of this. That's the big problem for me in this. Is Sam going to be able to pass them out of this? I do think that it's going to help him being, you know, a little bit warmer. I kind of looked at the temperatures and stuff. It's not horrible over there right now. So I do feel free to repeat your question. Chat's being a bit glitchy. I got most of them, I think. I got any of them. Chiefs, Saints, Bills. I definitely get that. And then I know that Darwin, my mod, we used to like highlight questions and stuff like that. We're still just figuring out the YouTube platform and everything like that. Chiefs, Saints, or Bills. And unlike on TikTok, I don't give a rip if you gamble here. I can swear, I could say the word shit. I don't give a shit. I can be free. So if you guys do need gambling advice, I'd be happily giving that out as well here. But this is when I would get kind of into trouble in the other ones. It was when people would just ask me for team wins, over-unders, plus, minuses, stuff like that. And I do know how to answer them to some degree, but I'm not the best, just a fair warning. But I'll let you know what I definitely think defensively. So we're looking at the Chiefs, Saints, and Bills. I can't pin the question here. Sorry about that. No worries. We'll get used to it. We will get used to it. You know, we will. That's what we do here, right? At the MrKnew and Crew show, like I said, you guys are the crew, and we all overcome, right? We're going to overcome. Just like I got this stupid shit on my nose because I can't breathe. I can't even talk. But you know what I said? Fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway, right? And so we're forcing it out, and we're going to make the show happen. And I don't care how many haters we got in this world. We're gonna make the show a success, and it's gonna be really fun. Let's look over at we were kind of looking at LA before. I like how they give me the back forth here, so I can go bop bop kind of. But this is where I feel like LA has the bigger advantage massively. Like, look at Kyron Williams' pass blocking grade, 82.2, right? That's wild. Look at Blake Corum, 79.3. Both of their running backs, they can disguise in pass block, whether they're playing pass pro, RPO, run, I formation, heavy set, double tight end, spread out wide. You don't know what they're going to do. These guys can have a delayed handoff at any time, or if you want to say, you know what, we're going to take away your run, they can just pass on you all day. They can literally choose to do that. They can be like, hey, you know what? All right, fine, yeah. We'll just pass all fucking day. We'll pass all day. One of the things that helped them big time with that this year, absolutely, was Davante Adams. He won't be in this game, of course, so I think that is a big, huge deal. I think that the Cody Parkinson is where that gets made up. I got Cody Parkinson in on my one fantasy lineup for DraftKings. I put him in. I put in Cody Parkinson as Colby Parkinson was like I think he's my king or my crown guy or whatever. And then I got I put in Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Matthew Stafford, Smith and Jigba, and Puka Nacua, right? Or did I miss Puka? I might have missed Puka. But got everybody in. Definitely. It was definitely a big one. Let's see here. Jackson Smith and Jigba is 2 of the number 129 receivers for what? NFL matchups. Okay. Oh, so this is gonna nice. This is gonna tell us exactly who is going against who. So this is the cornerback Emmanuel Forbes for the Rams. Going to be going probably against Smith and Jigba along with Wallace and Durant. The thing with JSN is he moves all over the place. You know what I mean? He can get moved everywhere, and that's why you get such a high, target share and stuff like that for him. Is because he's kind of moving all over the place and he's getting opportunities everywhere. Seattle's going to really have to play some good defense to get their way out of this game. I don't know. There's Jake London, great matchup advantage. Puka Nacua is only good against the Seattle Seahawks. And Puka Nacua is by himself. Like I said, he does not have Davante Adams today. Do they lean on the run? And does LA lose? I don't think so. I think LA wins. I don't know. Wait, what? Why is this showing Bijan Robinson? I don't... Stafford. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's look at some of this. Matchup advantage. Running back coverage. So they don't have the best running back coverage. So if the Seattle Seahawks were to do like I say and have a Zach Charbonnet day, like they would be in much better shape. Zach Charbonnet as that passing back and stuff, as well as the ability for Zach Charbonnet to be able to pass block. I think all of that is super important. And with a running back coverage score of like that, especially in the receiving, they're 31st of 32 teams. The Rams are. So, like, that's their weakness. That's where you can get them. You know what I mean? Their one spot where they're the strongest, you know what I mean, is going to be playing receiver coverage. So, throwing to Jameer Smith and Jigba. That's where they're going to get hit the most. But I don't think it's going to take such a big hit that it's going to matter. Tight end, 18th out of 32. So, they're not as good at covering the tight end. A.J. Barner could end up, you know what I mean, getting a couple decent catches. That's another player I really like for Seattle that doesn't get talked about very often. I think he's a great player. Then you got the offensive line pass block, 11 out of 32. That's really good. You know, you want a top 10 kind of line or within that for your quarterback. You don't want to be outside the 15 in that. But the opposite side, you got the pass rush of a 13th out of 32. So they're very tied up in that. The defensive line and the offensive line is pretty equal. That's for sure. You know, the tight end coverage, this is where I'm saying, like, I look at that, 29 of 32. I believe Colby Parkinson has a day, bro. Right? Yeah, I think Colby Parkinson has a day. I don't know. Sam Darnold going against that. So we can look at it from the Sammy Slingin side. Wide receiver, second of 32, whereas wide receiver, first of 32. So Matthew Stafford's wide receivers are the first best in the league. So if anybody wants to say who's the best duo and they want to put T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, get out of here with that. It's Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. No talking about that. There's no discussion to be had. That is the best line in all of football, or the best wide receivers in all of football. Now the matchup advantage. Look at this: Seahawks, red, red, red. That's where we get worried. Like the advantages just stop for the Seahawks after receiving. You know what I mean? And that's where it gets a little risky. This defensive line pass rush being 7th out of 32. Tight end coverage, 3rd out of 32. Running back coverage, 5th out of 32. Okay, so what does that mean, right? Like I said, they can't cover running backs that you pass. So if they do Zach Charbonnet, like, I think that they could win. If they play Zach Charbonnet, they play the pass game, and they just base everything off of that, and go heavy Smith and Jigba. There's that other player from them or whatever. There's that other tight end, or not tight end, not the tight end AJ Barner, but the other receiver. He's got to play a big important part. And I really think that that's the way Seattle can win this game. Because if you look at it, they're not going to win it in the trenches. Their offensive line is 10th out of 32 pass blocking, going against the 7th best pass rush. That's brutal. That's brutal. When you're the 7th best at pass rushing, that means you're getting to the quarterback consistently, and you're disrupting them often. And this is where it gets really, really, really hard for me as somebody to say this team can win easily. When the tight end coverage as well is really thick, that's your safety valve. Where in the world is Sam Darnold going to go? That's my biggest problem. If he can't go to Barner and they double cover, you know what I mean, JSN, he's going to have to utilize his other receivers. And I really think he's going to have to utilize Zach Charbonnet out the backfield, using him blocking, using him doing everything, and then Kenneth Walker on some delayed runs and some things like that where you need some heavy downhill. But outside of that, I think that's where you really get better. I think we were looking at a couple defenses we wanted to check out. I think someone was saying for some teams, players, defenses. I think it was someone was the Chiefs, the something, and the something. It was the Chiefs, the Saints, and the Bills. Oh, and that one's interesting because at first I was like, oh, the Bills are going to be the best one. I almost grabbed them myself. The Bills have a decent matchup, I thought, until I really thought about it. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, you know, Cleveland, they play brutal, but what if they have that game? You know what I'm talking about? It's at Cleveland. Quinshon Judkins has not looked that great the last couple games. What if Sanders, Judkins, the whole crew cranks it up, man? Or what if they don't and they just get smashed up? I do think it is a decent look, especially with Shedeur Sanders throwing that many interceptions, and the fact that this team has went through quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. It means that they're really scrambled up and they're going to have a hard time getting plays down. So I do like the Bills going against Cleveland as the number one out of those three. And then when we look at the Saints and the Chiefs, The Chiefs, they got Gardner Minshew, so they're like, why? And why does it matter Patrick Mahomes being in or out? Because of time of possession. When you are able to hold on to that ball longer, and what Patrick Mahomes is able to do is like convert third downs, which gives the offense more time on the field, which gasses out the opposing defense. Now, if Gardner Minshew is able to do that, I think they're in good shape. If he is not, I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs don't have a run game that pops off the charts that I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are the best. Like Kareem Hunt, and they're getting old, man. Their best running back is Kareem Hunt, a kicker from back in the day. I mean, come on. And he was a terrible kicker at that. He kicked a human being. In case anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, human being right in the face. My point is that I just think that my nose is bothering me so much. I just think that the Chiefs' defense there, I think Tennessee can actually hold up on this. I think it'll be a decent defensive day, but I just don't think everybody's gonna go all out. And then the Saints going against the Jets. I like this, actually. Like, as far as this one goes, I don't mind this one. I think that this one's just fine if a person wants to play against the Jets. Like, I just don't think the Jets have been that great. I think they've been really struggling. Are they going to play? Who are they going to play? Cook stays QB1. Okay, so yeah, they got Cook as quarterback 1. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, the Saints could be the best out of all of them. That could be just the way to go. Oh my goodness. Anyone that needs a defense right now, I think that's gonna be my favorite. At first I thought the other way, but nah, dude, give me the Saints. I like Cook. Like, who is? I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is. Where am I? Let's see here. I want to look up Cook. Brady Cook. Yeah, dude. Wow. 1 yard. Or 1 touchdown, 176 yards, 163 yards, 46.7, 66.7 against Jacksonville, Miami. Going against New Orleans. Dude, this is the play. Yeah, I like the Saints, man. The Saints, it's a great defense to use for this week. Absolutely. I have a couple of decent defenses in my team, and it's hard, honestly, to figure it out. I got the Broncos, and it's like, I don't really want the Broncos against Jacksonville. Like, that's not ideal. It really isn't. And then you got the Jags versus Denver, and the Jags have been the number 3 position ranked defense all year, and I think the Jags versus Denver might do better than the other way around. Than the Broncos versus Jacksonville, but maybe I'll be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, Jacksonville can score, and that's my biggest problem. Is they do have a good run game. They do have Liam Coleman's got that team, frickin' or whatever his name is. He's got that team running on all cylinders, man. You know what? Yeah. I'll make it really easy for myself. And Jaguars, and who are they playing last? Indianapolis. Okay, so they got a great matchup for their last matchup. Broncos. Who do they got for their last matchup? And they got Kansas City. Both of them got easy matchups for their final matchup. I don't want to let either of them go. Parkinson. Sorry, I didn't see that until this now. Parkinson or Loveland. Give me Colby Parkinson. I've been just ranting and raving about it right now. I do like Loveland with the Dunze out and everything like that. But one thing I'm thinking there though is that like Loveland will get more, but Colby Parkinson. I mean, this is a passing offense, and Devontae Adams is doubtful, so he's probably not going to be playing. And I think that gives a big opportunity for Colby Parkinson to, have himself a day. Maybe not another 24 or 28 point day, but 14 points? Absolutely. I could see Colby getting 14 points easy. Whereas if I got some of the other guys, like I might be a little worried. I might be like, man, is my quarterback going to be able to pass a touchdown? And that's where the problem gets in. Do I think Caleb Williams can pass touchdowns? Yes, absolutely. He with Colston Loveland, but then he also has Cole Kmet. Is Kmet healthy still and everything? I know Loveland has been getting more love lately. I was big on Colston Loveland coming out of Michigan, as I'm a big JJ McCarthy guy. And thanks, Benefrito, for asking the question. I really appreciate any of the questions here as we're getting started on the channel here. We're used to being on TikTok. People just give you fake bans because I don't sign up for... basically, I don't give them a reach around and stroke them off. So they turn me in. But look at this. 10, 5, 12, 10. That's pretty consistent. Like I said, I don't think that he's going to have like a 24 or whatever. But the same thing here. I do think, especially against Green Bay, who doesn't have their main weapon anymore, I think that is an excellent play. I think Colston Loveland is an excellent play. But don't be surprised, Loveland people, if this dude was involved as well. If he's out. If this dude is out, I feel like Colston Loveland is easily a tight end one. Like I feel like this is the biggest thing. Yeah, Luther Burden ankle. They are beat up, man. They're a little beat up. My advice to the Bears, if you want to have a good run, is just don't even go for that number 1 seed. I would just put on the brakes here, and I would just relax. But yeah, no, I do like Loveland. But give me Colby Parkinson a little bit higher. I got Parkinson just a little higher because I like everything that he brings, as well as look, opposition rank is 27th, and it's a Thursday. People are going to be tired, and what happens when you're tired? You go to your outlet, right? And this is going to be a security blanket. That should be the security blanket. Colby Parkinson helping out Matthew Stafford. I really do. Look, I wonder what they got to say about the whole thing. Stupid nose. Does it not play? I think they have this thing designed so it doesn't play when you're recording stuff. Yeah. They make it so that you can't show their video, but they don't have their knowledge sucks anyway. These guys don't know shit. They're really they're bad at their job. Like, I'm just gonna call it straight out. Like, I think that they're okay, but for having, could you imagine being in their position, having everybody giving you all the stats, all the stuff that's you eat, sleep, shit football, you breathe it, you live it, that's all you do. You go into work and your coworkers are talking about it. That's how in the world can you be so bad? ESPN at predicting. ESPN projected like most of the people in my league that were going to be bad, good, and good, bad. And Colby Parkinson, like, not on anybody's radar, obviously, up until lately, but I like these numbers better than Loveland's as of late. 14, 9, 14, 6, 12, 24. I feel like that's a little more consistent. I also like the double digits, double in a row. You got the down games in there. But, and then we're going against Seattle again, so that's kind of the same right there. So that's the floor I give for Colby Parkinson. I think it's 9. I think that's the lowest he scores. And I think Loveland, the lowest Loveland scores, because I have a feeling this dude gets in for a touchdown. Opposition rank is 12. But, like, let's say he gets in for a tutty, McDuddy. Yeah, I like him for against Green Bay though, man. That Green Bay defense is going to be not as good. Yeah, I think I'll give him a low of like 5. You know what I mean? That's the lowest I think Loveland can go, whereas Parkinson 9. So the question becomes, can you beat your opponent with a score of 5, or do you need those extra 4 points of 9? Because that's the floor. So if we look at everybody by looking at the floor, I think we'll get a much better result when we get the ceilings and when we get the real results later in real life. So I do like Colson Loveland here. I got him capped out, like meaning like the most he could possibly get, as right here, 29. That's like the most. That's like him having a completely insane day, amazing day, and just going off all over the place. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's his kind of ceiling. I think the mid, what we're going to expect is 10 to 14. I think he's a 10 to 14 guy. And I feel like the same thing for Colby Parkinson. 10 to 14. Um, Kind of feel even about him, honestly. Like I said, I'm giving the slight edge to Colby Parkinson as they do pass more in the Rams offense. You know, um, and Seattle passes too, and Seattle is able to keep up with the scores, and so that's some of the things that I kind of think with that. But you know, if you're a Chicago fan and you want Loveland, you know, go ahead and play him and be confident. But I like Parkinson a lot better. Um, like kind of like the person that I was seeing in my league that's going against me. It's going to be tough for him because they have freaking same for the people that have like Rashee Rice, man. You got Travis Kelce. Now, I do think that tight ends get passed to more by backups, but this is my problem with it. Is Gardner Minshew going to be throwing touchdowns or just passes? Because a big part of scoring is getting a touchdown. You know, Kelsey does get enough volume to where you don't have to worry about that as much. See, 9 targets, 14 points. You know, touchdowns. He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns on the year. He's only got 5. That is not a lot of touchdowns. It's been a few games since a touchdown. He's due if Patrick Mahomes would be in. But, like, you know, having Colby Parkinson is almost like it's tempting, you know what I mean? But Tennessee 11. I do think Travis Kelce makes up for it with targets. I think Gardner Minshew goes. Travis Kelce just goes to him a bunch, and I like Travis Kelce's day there at Tennessee. I think it'll be just fine. But Colby though, I do think is going to have a day. I think he's going to be good. And he's only started in 19% of leagues. He's only going to be started in 19%. It'll be interesting. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they play Blake Corum. Because someone told me today that, because I told somebody that Blake Corum was almost like David Montgomery. Really reminds me of David Montgomery. And they were like, no. He's more, Kyron Williams is more like the David Montgomery and power back. And Blake Corum is more the other one. And the only reason they say that he's a passing back is because of he's small. Blake Corum is 5'9". I could fit him in the palm of my hand, but he's built like a brick shithouse, and that's what he does. He's a power back. Like, look at his stuff. He doesn't catch the ball. He doesn't get passes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receptions all year is all he's gotten. He got 6 receptions. 2 receptions right here for -5 yards. So, like, when we're talking about receptions, Blake Corum, what he relies on, and he did this a lot in college, is getting underneath that line. He's smaller. So when they're in the goal line position, just like David Montgomery does, he gets underneath the line, squeezes himself in for the tutty, McDuddy, and looks good while doing it. Now, I think we've pretty much covered most of it. I think we can get back on. We could use this episode, and we can come back on later for the other games. I think that should work out good. If anybody else has any other things that they want to ask or anything like that. Oh, wow. Look at that. Opposition rank. Everything looks good. 13th, 21st, 13th, 21st, 25th, 29th, 16th, 13th, 18th. This will very rarely happen where you just got everybody going against a decent matchup. That does not happen very often. That's kind of nice. And this is my wife, so I don't mind if she beats me. I'm in the fantasy football playoffs. Um, the other league, you know what I mean. The other one is this one right here. This is going to be a tough game for these guys. I don't know why they don't show Heisenberg and Philly cheesesteak right here. This matchup is going to be tough. So this is how it's got it going, huh? Oh, Woody Marks and CeeDee Lamb both still questionable. Like that's like CeeDee Lamb getting sick right after that, dude. That's weak, dude. Like, are you actually going to play CD or not? Like, you know what I mean? That's sort of where it gets to be. But they got like a bunch of backup players that are going to be able to be pretty decent. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 checks over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 check marks over here. They kind of like this a little better. I like it better. I just hope CeeDee Lamb can play. And then Woody Marks going against Vegas. If they don't want to play Woody Marks, they got Aaron Jones as well to put in. So I do think that Heisenberg can take this Philly Cheese, even though Philly Cheese is the first place team, 11-3-0 on the year. Congratulations, amazing year. But yeah, I think Heisenberg can get him. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. Does Heisenberg have anybody, or they have anybody for the bench for today's game? Chicago, Cleveland, Green Bay, Seattle. Oh, they do. They got Rams. Defense. Rams defense going against Seattle. Can Sammy cut up the Rams for the first time ever? That's going to be tough. That's a big ask. That defense, like I said, we were looking at those defense. The Rams defense has been top notch. I do like the Texans defense against Vegas, though, too. That's a really good matchup. And Vikings, Will Reichard against New York Giants. That's decent. Zay Flowers, Aaron Jones, New York Giants. I also like that. Jacoby Myers against Denver. That's a little bit risky. But Michael Wilson for Atlanta, for Arizona, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb has gone over the 100 receiving yard mark 3 straight games. The Cowboys, most recently 6 catches. Like Lamb has also been targeted with an impressive 27 times in his edge. This hot streak will likely be put to the test week 16 and an extremely stingy pass defense. What is he, 6 still, though? Illness, did not practice Thursday. That's not good, dude. Like, that's not good. And when did they got to decide this? Let's see here. CeeDee Lamb, Dallas. That's gonna be, not the Saturday game. Which one's the Saturday game? It's the Bears, right? Yeah, the Bears are Saturday game. So that wouldn't be that wouldn't be Arizona, and that wouldn't be you'll be able to switch them out. I think it'll be all right. You do got the 2 players to kind of switch them out if you need. You got Aaron Jones and Michael Wilson. Whereas I don't see as much here. This one is a little rougher. But it's a tough team. It depends on how well everybody's going to go. Amika Buka could go off and get 20 points. Same thing with Rice and Ferguson. All them guys, they can all go off. Especially if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play. That just helps Jake Ferguson even more. You know, as all these things can kind of be. What else do we got to talk about? Oh, let's finish the episode. Oh. Let's finish the episode talking about Minnesota. All right, I want to talk about something with Minnesota Vikings. Okay, Chris Carter has come out and said a lot of things lately. And he's come out and stated that the team has had to dumb itself down for the passing game to be better. Now, the passing game, the last game against the Cowboys was a 90. A 90, dude, that barely ever happens. The defense only hit 92 once. They only hit a 90 once. The special teams hit a 90 once this year. So for him to hit a 90 in his basically rookie year, that's a lot. But then the lows are really low, 22.8. That's brutal on the passing department. But I believe, like O'Connell was telling him, like, I don't like this, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that they're saying, like, oh, I don't like that he's grittying into the end zone. What the fuck you mean? You say that Justin Jefferson's your favorite player, and you sit there and do it in front of everybody too. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go off, so you might want to go off for a little bit. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this shit because this is what I want to talk about, and because it pisses me off. All right, I'm sick and tired of O'Connell and all this bullshit about it. All right, because okay, tell me this, motherfuckers. Tell me this. Why can Kevin O'Connell be like, oh, Justin Jefferson, you're the best on the team. I love you, Justin. And I get it. Justin Jefferson has a track record to prove it. Whatever. All that stuff. I like, or whatever. I still don't believe you should call somebody the best on your team or like say that they're the best or whatever. But Justin Jefferson's first touchdown. What did he fucking do, guys? What did Justin Jefferson do for his first touchdown? Can anybody tell me? Look it up if you don't know. Look it up and watch the shit. Anybody see it? All right, we'll watch it. I'll put the shit on right now. You ready to see Justin Jefferson's first touchdown? Here it is. Wait, let me get the microphone right. There we go. There we go. Okay.
The receiving touchdown. Cousins from under center goes back to pass. Straight drop. Passing right. Jefferson, yes, on the run. 40-30. Angles left to the 20. And he...
What is he doing right here? Can anybody tell me what Justin Jefferson is doing right here? Is he grittying into the end zone? Kevin O'Connell don't like that. Chris Carter don't like that. We don't like that. If it's Justin Jefferson, it's okay. But when it's J.J. McCarthy, it's not. Why the fuck not? You don't like the bravado? You want to listen to Bruce Arians and give him a reach around and suck him off? Bruce Arians comes on, he's like, I don't need that with all my quarterbacks, all the slobber and drool and everything. Leave that to the linebackers. Bruce Arians, you were carried by Tom Brady. You couldn't win a fucking Super Bowl. Your quarterback sucked. You're the one that drafted Jameis Winston, you fucking bum. Oh my gosh. I would love to debate all of these people. Okay? So it's okay for him to do it. Okay? So that's the first double standard, all right? Now I want to talk to you about another one, okay? They got mad at J.J. McCarthy for being 9. Oh, 9, you're so stupid. 9. You don't need to do that. You don't need to bring that. Justin Jefferson has been known as Jets forever. That's his alter ego. He has went on and stated, yeah, I come on, I become Jets. But there's no problem with that. All these guys are trying to say is that they're coming on and that they're flipping a switch so that they can be competitive. Because if you're nice, you're going to get your ass kicked out of the playoffs. And I get it, Chris Carter don't like any of this, all this new kid, new wave shit, and he's all old school, but you need to chill, dude. You need to chill with the shit you're saying, especially online. Oh, one good quarter when I know the rest are going to be bad quarters of football from the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, who will be replaced eventually, saying shit like that. Unless you're bringing Joe Burrow to town, shut the fuck up, dude. Unless you got something positive or constructive to say behind that shit-eating grin on Good Morning Football or whatever. Like, oh, yeah. Dude, that was the most annoying shit I have ever heard. All right? It's like listening to Deion Sanders talk about Shedeur Sanders. It's fucking annoying, dude. I love Shedeur. I think Shedeur is going to be great. But listening to Deion describe Shedeur, you see the smirk in the back of his face. You know that he's saying double meaning words. Why are we holding this stuff against J.J. McCarthy? As well as J.J. McCarthy's leg goes in the air. His body mechanics are shit. Peyton Manning had bad body mechanics. But he's a Hall of Famer. Why are we letting stats people tell football people how to football? Because I'm going to show you guys something else that Chris Carter, he talks about all the time. I know Chris Carter like the back of my fucking dick. Where's my football? So, right here. Got it right here. So, Chris Carter, CC. You know what he does? That motherfucker had tiny little hands, little baby tiny hands, little tiny baby, little tiny like a little tiny infant. You know what? So he had to go every day and he had to sit and stretch his fingers out so that he could become the elite possession receiver that he became. The tiptoe sideline show, right? But to do that, he has to spread. He cannot do like I can do. I'm double jointed. So I could do it perfectly. I could do a 6-12 spread. And it covers most of the ball. He can't do that. Believe it or not, his hands are smaller than mine. Smaller. Like that's when you look at some of the quarterbacks when they're holding the ball and like their fingers going up to there. That's because they got small hands. That's why you want someone with bigger hands. So what does Chris Carter teach? He teaches us to kind of flex our hands out, and then we're able to get that double jointedness. My point in all of this is that what if when J.J. McCarthy is throwing and these body mechanics and everything like that, what if some of that is because he's double jointed or triple jointed or has certain flows and everything that give to his power? I get it. He has to learn rotational throwing in the off season. What are the piano player? Those are piano. Oh, there's a piano player hands. Yeah, and like this is it. Like I'm gonna look up how big his hands are because I believe they're 9 inches, 9 1/4. Maybe only 9. 9 3/8 inches. Perfect. I am. Gosh damn, I'm good. Holy shit, I'm good. I'm fucking good. I'm fucking the best there is. Woo! So, my hand at that 11, but even though he has a 9 1/4 inch hand, he's able to get an 11.25 inch span. That's almost the length of a football, like my hand here, from pinky to toe, like that. Like it's a whole thing. And so, like, Chris Carter made that up. Like, nobody in science said that you can make yourself double jointed by constantly stressing your hands with a football. That's what he did. He would do this all the time. He'd sit there and do that. What if J.J. McCarthy did a bunch of stuff too? You know, and maybe you're just buying into this narrative, handoff, go vroom, vroom, blah, 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 blah. Because this is the thing. In the last game, he passed for over 200 yards, over 240. I wanted him to go over 240. He went 250. Okay, I get it. Like I said, he's throwing linear. You know, that's what all the body mechanics people are freaking out. When everybody's like, oh, he throws like shit. What they're talking about is linear throwing, okay? I'm going to teach you guys something. There's 2 types of throwing. Linear, it's kind of like a baseball pitch. You put your front foot forward and you throw into it, and your back foot can come off the ground and you can kind of lead into the throw. You know what I mean? And you throw into it. Now, there's the other type of throw, rotational throwing. That's what Dak Prescott does. And that's why you see him doing that exercise with his hip, because he generates all of the momentum from hip, rotate up, to arm, thing, and the ball comes out. And your foot doesn't really leave the ground. It kind of comes up like a golf swing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like doing the Happy Gilmore versus doing the regular. That's kind of what JJ's doing. There's nothing wrong with the power ball. There's nothing wrong with Gilmore's power swing. He just had to learn the short game. That's all JJ has to do. Literally. And so, like, if that's all he has to do, like, 2 years off, right? I'm sorry, I'm starting to choke in a little bit. 2 years off. So my main point to close this out, J.J. McCarthy was a COVID kid. So he didn't get very much practice then, okay? Not much live reps, not much live anything. And then he went instantly to Michigan, right? And then he won a championship right away. He did not get time to develop rotational throwing. And I believe that Kevin O'Connell is going to teach him that other style of throwing so that he can layer the ball, feather it, and throw passes kind of like that one that we seen went over like back shoulder fade type stuff to the end zone, and just like lower accurate passes when he could just be calm in the pocket. But does that mean we get rid of the aggressive, awesome 50-mile-per-hour fastball? No. Brett Favre made a career out of that. I hear commentators saying this. They say the Minnesota Vikings have the highest drop rate because J.J. McCarthy's velocity is too fast. He needs to dial it down. Do you know how many times this season I've watched Justin Jefferson have one go right through his hands, hit him in the number, Adam Thielen, all of them, T.J. Hawkinson, everyone. They need to catch that ball. I don't care if it's going a zillion miles around. They're supposed to be the best. If I'm Jefferson, I'm going to Brett Favre. I'm calling him. And I'm saying, dude, I heard you used to throw with velocity similar to McCarthy. How did your receivers handle it? And like I said, this is what they did. I used to watch them. Because I used to be, Brett Favre was like one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. The Packers mandatorily made you sit in front of the jugs machine, doof, doof, and catch footballs coming right out of there. Inches coming out, just doof, doof. And that's how you practiced. Because the rotation on the ball is so much that it torques your wrists and torques your hands. That's what's tough about left-handed quarterbacks. Like if you get a lefty, the spin is different. So let's say you're used to catching these, and they kind of catch and they roll in, they turn in. But let's say if it's a lefty, it rolls out, and you're not used to it. And like, oh crap! And so that's where you can run into a little bit of trouble. And PFF doesn't have this. This is me. I have created an algorithm and a way to measure velocity as well as and this is very important. And it's very important that I state here and now that this is mine and mine LLC as well. As far as the equation and everything like that. But the rotations on the ball, okay? How many times does the ball rotate per foot, per yard, per whatever, per yard at 10 yards, at 20 yards, at 30 yards? And that zip on the ball, like the more the ball is spinning, the more accurate it can be to get to A to B. But even Tom Brady showed you cannot throw really a straight ball if it's spinning. So it is going to be off some. So that is where McCarthy, if he can become the prodigy of Kevin O'Connell. If you think Daniel Jones got better, right? And if you think Sam Darnold got better under Kevin O'Connell, imagine what the kid that he picked, he chose, and that he is literally raising and grooming, and then he realized, oh man, I'm making him think too much during the game. I'm asking him to do this other types of throwing and work on body mechanics. I'm worried about what the media is saying. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, I believe, needs to draft better. I believe he's been drafting terrible, and he's been getting away with a lot. I believe he's doing politics to the team. Is it any wonder that after Adam Thielen left, we started getting the ball to Jalen Nailor and winning, and then Jalen Nailor becomes one of the players of the week, right? So, like, I think there was problems in the locker room. I don't think Kevin O'Connell ever wanted Adam Thielen back. We lost a third-round pick because of it, and then we just literally get rid of him out of the locker room because he's that toxic. So he can go to Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers and play, quote-unquote, meaningful football. If we did not need him after the third game, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah should have traded him right after that. Got our third-round pick back. That is way too much to pen. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is sinking the ship. He needs to... The only way that Kwesi can save his job, basically, is if he trades for Joe Burrow. That's it. That's the only way in my mind that I could be like, oh man, traded for Joe Burrow and we kept Jefferson, so we're just going to build around that and we're good for years. And other than that, if he cannot get that, I'm really worried for the Minnesota Vikings. There is not very many draft picks that have stayed on the team, especially after the second round drafted by Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. He needs help when draft selecting. This last year, when they were selecting offensive linemen, Donovan Jackson, they could have moved back with Kansas City all the way back to 32, still got Donovan Jackson, still got their guy, most likely. But if they didn't, they could have adjusted. There was a lot of other guys that actually turned out really good in that position, including the one that the Chiefs got themselves. So, like, I think we're always so worried about, oh, we're going to do this or, oh, we're going to do that, that J.J. McCarthy has to deal with all these politics. And the Vikings need to deal with all these politics. Like, that is not fair. That is not fair to McCarthy. That's not fair to his first year. And not fair to what he can be. You know what I mean? And you got these guys down here. Great show. I really like them. If you guys ever want to check out, it's the Purple Daily or Minnesota TPP podcast. There's also Score North and the big one, K-Fan. All great guys and everything like that. I know you guys know that I get back and forth into it with Thor Nydstrom a little bit about everything, but that's because of his incredible weird infatuation with JJ McCarthy and misleading a lot of people. In case anyone wants to know who Thor is, it's all the way to the right. That's who I argue with. The rest I really actually get along with. Phil Mackey, Judd, and the great late Jason. Also awesome people. But like I said, a lot of people mistook my little spat with him like I hated him or something like that. I do not hate anybody, and I wish Thor the best, and I'm really happy for him. The thing that I wanted to talk about with him was JJ McCarthy, because we're both pro JJ McCarthy, but then I think he said something behind my back or something like that he didn't want to work with me, so it just never became a thing. So I just figured, get it all out there, get everything out. I'm a very transparent guy. We're gonna get this broadcast out, and they'll have before Thursday night, and hopefully this will help fantasy people. Hopefully this will help my channel, and if you can, please, follow and like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, I got the Rams tonight, but maybe Sam with the comeback game, dude. The Rams just got so much. It's gonna be tough, but if Sam Darnold can turn into Sammy Darts, we're in for a show, man. We're in for a show. Skol, everybody. I hope you guys have a good week. I'll see you again soon. And like I said, these things with Jefferson, the prodigy, imagine what he can be in 1 year or 2 years, especially like also this is one thing I really want to mention and note. Every time JJ McCarthy had those bad games, like this atrocious games, so we can kind of see his passing here, he was injured. Okay, so the second game, right, got injured at the end of the game, 51, then comes back, gets injured, and throws a 40 and a 38, then gets healthy again, then gets injured. First one was the ankle or whatever the heck it was or whatever. The second one was throwing the ball and hitting the Baltimore Ravens guy on the helmet. And because they didn't tell anybody about this stuff, they just expect him to just overcome or something and not have problems. And this third one, he got slammed on his head against the Packers, and he got a concussion. So, like, those three, when you put them in order, it's kind of abysmal. I think this is when we had this 22 grade. I think this is actually Brock, not Brock Purdy. I always keep calling him that. Max Brosmer. And that's another thing. If we didn't have a guy, we would see a lot more of these low grades. J.J. McCarthy's lowest grade this year is a 38.8 at passing. He did not repeat that at all. The next worst was a 40 at Philly, which, whatever. You know what I mean? I think, actually, I don't even know if he played some of these games. Like, some of these games, I believe that, like, frickin', what's his name was playing. And he was no better than J.J. McCarthy when you look at the numbers. In fact, the team has been much better with J.J. as well as with Coach O'Connell, letting J.J. use his body mechanics. Like I said, Keep the Happy Gilmore swing. Keep it. That's a unique. That's what gives him that power and that thing and that control in those odd situations to be able to throw to the left and that wild body control mid-air. That's his intangible. That's what makes him special. That's what makes him ability to do that. So when you teach him to be able to rotationally, and this is the thing. When I'm saying teach, he already knows how to do it, guys. It's not that he doesn't know how to do it. It's just that he's got to learn it within the system and the scheme and the play and the progression. And then he's got to learn it so much that we do whole progression. Tom Brady don't like that where you go first, second, third, fourth, read, then back to first. Whereas you just go first, second, I know he's covered, go to third. You know what I mean? You kind of make your mind up of your own. These are things that I hope Kevin O'Connell passes the keys on to J.J. McCarthy 2026, 2027, all that stuff. But the thing the Vikings will need the most is draft picks. They need to do a fire sale and trade a ton of players and get as many draft picks as you can. And you have to hit on this draft. You got to get a good running like the Lions did when they grabbed Jahmyr Gibbs and all them guys in that draft. And then I think it was that year and the year before. And they did a couple years there where they were just nail driving on the draft. And that's what the Vikings need. They cannot afford to flop on the draft again. The only way they can, like I said, is if Kwesi cooks an absolute Christmas miracle supper and gets Joe Burrow to town. Because this is the thing where Cincinnati fans are like, no, it's never going to happen. It's fake. It's not. The thing is, if a guy doesn't want to play for your organization and stuff, he's more of like a hinder to your team. Like if he's not going to try his best, not happy, like why not get the prospect of McCarthy and the big, huge package? Sort of like what the Wild did, you know? Swing big, miss big, swing big, hit big. You know what I mean? You got to take chances to get it. Same thing with the Wolves, going for Giannis Antetokounmpo, Colby White, John Morant, any of those guys. And then lately, I've been hearing a little bit about Darius Garland from the Cavaliers. I'm good with all, but if you want the big swing, Giannis. Dude, Giannis and Ant, and you don't even got to worry about the rest of the team forever. Like, you know what I mean? But hey, Skol and good luck this fantasy week, guys.